So today I went to use my iMac and I noticed that something weird was going on. I think there was an update that came out not too long ago, and now when I use it, my fans go crazy. And there's just this crazy sound. It sounds like a jet engine's taking off. Started doing some research. I think it wasn't too long ago, it was probably like a year ago, maybe less than a year ago, I put an SSD in my iMac, and I know that I ran into a problem where the fan started going real high. I found some application and got that fixed and never really worried about it anymore. But now with this new update, for some reason, you know, that old software is not working anymore. So it did some looking around and tried a couple different applications. Um, didn't have too much luck until I found this one that's called Max Fan Control. So if you open up Safari and type in Max Fan Control, it can be in Safari or Chrome or whatever web browser you use. It doesn't really matter. So you type in Max Fan Control, and Google should come up with Max Fan Control, like here. Um, so when you come to this page, there's going to be a couple different options. There's Max Fan Control for Mac OS X. This one is for Mac OS X 10.7 and up. There's also one for 10.6 and below. So I think that's what happened is that I had 10.6, I went to 10.7 and stopped working. So here's a I think the quickest way to find out what version of Mac you have. So you go to the Apple, you go to About This Mac, and it shows up right there. So Mac OS Sierra version 10.12.1. So yeah, I think most people are going to be above 10.7. If you're not, there's this older version that you can download over here. You just click on that link. So pretty much what you do is just click on it to download, and it goes to download to your download folder. Once it's in your download folder, what you want to do at that point is um, you want to go to your download folder and you want to move it to your applications folder. And once it's in your applications folder, then your computer will recognize it as a valid application. Um, well, you could actually run it from your downloads folder. It doesn't really matter where it is. But I generally don't like to keep applications in download folders just because, you know, I like to keep my applications in my applications folder so I don't delete an application that I need. Now, it's pretty simple. Once you double click on it, it should ask you if you want to run it, just like here. And you just click on open. And I already have mine open and because you can't hear my fans. But you just click open, and then it would live up here in the bar up here in the right corner. Um, so let me show you the interface here. Let's click out of these things. So show Mac fan control. So here's the interface. By default, it's going to be set to based on ambient on all the fans that are in your computer. Um, these numbers here are in Fahrenheit now, but they were in Celsius before. So to change that, you click on preferences, and then you go to use Fahrenheit here. That's not check marked by default. And you click on close, and it changes everything in Fahrenheit. Now, if you understand Celsius and that registers as something meaningful in your mind, then you can go ahead and use that. For me, I'd have to do the calculation in my head to try to figure out approximately what temperature that is. So here's a demonstration of how loud the computer was before I installed this. So I'm going to set all these to auto, meaning that the system, the Mac SMC system, is going to take over and it's going to ramp up the fans. So let's go ahead and take a listen. So hopefully that's coming through on the audio. It's pretty loud, and this is just kind of idle. Nothing's like really running that's really intensive. Um, Now, when you start to set things to custom, here it asks you, what do you want to base it off of? Now, the ambient sensor is a sensor that lives inside your Mac, and it measures the overall temperature of your Mac, of the inside of your Mac, which is a pretty good uh, kind of way to tell whether or not your Mac needs more airflow to cool down. So by default, it is set to ambient, and these are the thresholds that are set by default. So 90 degrees Fahrenheit, uh, the fans will start to increase in speed from the default kind of idle. They'll start to increase after the ambient temperature in the computer reaches 98 degrees Fahrenheit. And the maximum temperature is 116 degrees Fahrenheit. Um, so that's cool. I mean, I never really mess with these, and so I just go ahead and leave that there. So as I start to set these to ambient, then you can start to hear, hopefully you can hear a big decrease in the just the fan noise going down to just about nothing. And now it's all set to based on ambient for the three fans that are in this iMac. So that's pretty much it. By default, the application should open up when you reboot your computer and show up here in your top right hand corner of your screen by your other icons. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or wanna see something else, um, just leave a comment or send me a message. I'll be glad to make you guys a video. Thanks.